Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my Hi Capa videos. This Hi Capa video is going to be about how to make a good skirmish pistol. Now, what do I mean by skirmish? As in, do I take it out and airsoft with it? Yes. No. Skirmish pistol, in my mind, is not for your pistol primary guys. This is my secondary. This lives in my holster most of the time. I'll pull it when I go into a building, or if I'm like playing like a sniper or a DMR and I need something for when people are within my minimum engagement distance. So, what I will do, I will just caveat this video from the start, and I will say that a Tokyo Marui Hi Capa in its stock form is absolutely fine. I've got a friend who's ran one for probably the best part of 7 years. He's got a gold match, and the only thing he's needed to put into it is a single TM hop-up bucking rubber. Nothing else has needed upgrading. He absolutely loves the performance of it. It works fine for him. It shoots people within MED, which is fine. But we, myself, people, you guys watching my channel, we're into Hi Capas and we like modding them that little bit. So let's have a look at how we can make one of these things extra skirmish ready. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to split the pistol down into two to start with, top and bottom. So what I will probably caveat this one with is that the bulk of the upgrades go in the upper, not into the lower, but I will just show you quickly what I've done on the lower here. So on the lower, you can see here, I've got, it is an extended mag release. This mag release is off a gold match. And you can see there it's got quite a sticky outy profile. For me, it just helps, just hitting that button, bang, 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 you can get the mag in and out easier, because as a skirmish pistol, you run it on mags. And then the only other lower modification I've made to my Hi Capa, I mean, I've obviously got the magwell, I've got the trigger, I've got the grips. You don't need any of that for the lower. The TM lower is absolutely fine. The only other mod I've put in here is the bit which lives in here. AM call it the spring pluger or plugger or whatever you want to call it, the thumb safety retaining pin. And what I've done is I've swapped it out for one of the AM ones because that spring is a little bit longer, it's a little bit tougher, and it just means that this safety is that little bit more difficult to hit on, because normally as I pull like this, I bring my thumb up, and what I've found is that I can catch my safety here, because it is only single side safety. Why have the other side? Skirmish Pistol. Is as I catch it, it's just pulled the safety on. So then as I've gone to shoot, I've gone, oh no, it won't shoot. Quick, knock safety off, and bang, I'm shot. So that's pretty much it. So the extended mag catch, that comes stock with a gold match, or you can buy any number of extended ones from aftermarkets. AIP do some quite nice ones with a big thumb plate. I quite like this because it's a TM part. And then, like I say, that AM spring pluger, which goes in here, absolutely fantastic, well worth a bit of your time and money. But other than that, the actual lower for a 4.3 stock trigger, you don't need a magwell on it. You don't need beaver tails and hammers and all the gubbins that go in there, because the trigger response for being a TM is absolutely fine. So I don't bother with that a lot. The fun and games, though, come in the upper. So this one is a aluminium upper. You don't need to have an aluminium upper. You can get away with just running the plastic upper, and we'll go over that. I swapped out because I kind of wanted something I could throw around. Obviously plastic doesn't bounce too well, and I envisaged this getting quite badly beaten over the years. So I went for an aluminium slide, but you don't need that. For a good skirmish pistol, I would actually recommend keeping the plastic slide, because it's less weight to start throwing backwards and forwards. In your colder months, you're going to be able to run green gas as opposed to red gas. But again, I've got an aluminium slide, so I can run red gas if I want to. So as we kind of go through here, the sights aren't important. The sights are personal preference. So again, keep your stock sights on there. One of the big upgrades you can make on a stock upper is the BBU, so the blowback housing. A lot of people go, oh, do all the barrels and stuff. Do you know what? One of the best upgrades I've found is the BBU. Now, you swap one of these out. The stock TM1 weighs about 3 times what one of the aftermarket ones does. This is one of the Cow BO2 ones, so it comes with the it's the piston head version. So you just move your stock piston head over. We'll work with normal nozzles as well, because you've got the stock piston head, and that takes all the weight off. So if you imagine, as your slide is going, the weight, so the so you kind of, you're in a barrel and that kind of stuff is fairly irrelevant, because that doesn't slide. It's kind of static weight, if you like. But your blowback housing, that adds to the weight of your slide going backwards and forwards. So what you're doing is you're taking that inertia off. You're taking those joules, if you like, off the slide moving. So you're lessening the impact as it hits back, and you're also lessening the weight travelling back forwards, which goes bang back on all the other parts. So it's going to be easier. It'll cycle a lot faster as well. So a lightweight blowback housing. So like I say, I use the Capa one. AM do some, Edge do some. You can even get the 3D printed ones like what I use in my 3D print builds. Absolutely fine. All of the above work absolutely phenomenally with the Hi Capa standard slide. So that is a big plus point. And that actually kind of brings me back onto the sights a little bit as well. As you look at the sight, you know, I've got the nice fancy AIP sights on there. You can swap these out for lightweight ones. The rear sight weighs a fair bit. The front sight's actually pretty decent. The gold match front sight is very decent. But the rear sight, I find, can be quite heavy. So you can get the aluminium ones like this. This is the AIP aluminium one. Or you can also get 3D printed ones. So AirTac do some really nice rear 3D printed slides. Again, it just takes some of that kind of sprung weight off your slide. And it just, you know, speeds up the snappiness there. So that's kind of more utility than looks, and that's kind of where my builds mostly go. So what I'll do is I'll just break this down a little bit more for you. Didn't really envisage doing this one on camera. There we go. Hate doing these things because they always fly off screen. So what else have I got on here? So the spring, the guide rod plug doesn't need to be upgraded. The stock one can be a bit weak. After years and years and years of use, they can go through. Absolutely fine. They go through faster if you use an upgraded spring. I'm not. This is a stock spring. And that's because the gas just isn't powerful enough to push a strong spring backwards and forwards. In the cold months, I live in England, it rains for like 11 and a half months and it's cold for 10 months of the year. So a stock spring here is fine. Short strokes though, stick a couple of those bad boys on. What they do is they obviously lessen the distance that your slide is going to travel, so you're faster cycling. Also, what it does do though is it increases the pressure on this spring. So, you know, like the sniper rifles, you put a spring in, you put spacers behind them, it makes that spring that little bit more powerful. So I'm kind of getting a slightly upgraded or slightly stronger spring, even though I've not put a slightly stronger spring in. So, you know, same spring, smaller area to sit in. Short strokes there are the Froggo ones because they fit super, super well. And these are the kind of hard and extra hard ones just because I kind of like a little bit of kick when I'm shooting my pistol. If anything, I might swap the green out for another pink and that will be about it. As we then move up, we'll move on to the barrel set. So a lot of people will tell you need to swap the barrel out on your Hi Capa. Yeah, you do, yeah. Just the TM1 is absolutely fine. This is a PDI one. I've kept it the same length so it doesn't stick out past. You can put thread adapters on, that kind of thing. This is a stock 4.3 length barrel. I think it's like 98mm. This is a PDI barrel. Absolutely love it. I only shoot PDI. And this is fine. Hop up, absolutely fine as it is. You can see I've stuck a maple leaf arm in there, and I've got a maple leaf rubber, and I've got a maple leaf wheel. Is it all needed? Possibly. Is it needed to make the gun skirmishable? No. I'd definitely say, though, get yourself a new barrel and get yourself a new hop-up rubber. Maybe you don't need all the bits which I've shoved in mine, but to get a decent kind of skirmish pistol, definitely do that barrel. Something a little bit tighter, just bring the FPS up. Hop-up rubber, just to sail them out there. Again, you're not trying to be a sniper with this thing, so if you can reach 20 to 30 metres, why not? Let's just do it. Make it as accurate as you possibly can. That's what I've done. I've taken from my indoor Capa there. I've got the 70-degree Decepticon in there. I've pretty much copied my indoor setup. And this thing just rocks 2.5s. It's so accurate. It's like you could primer it indoors. No problem on this. And then probably finally, another good part I've done is this. So it's not an aluminium barrel. Didn't feel I needed an aluminium barrel. It's not the stock barrel though. So what you get on the stock barrel is you get a lot of wobble. So kind of like where your barrel sits in, it will wobble and move about a lot. This is exceptionally tight. So this is one of the original Make It 3D barrels, which I had from Matt. He printed that out, sent it me, threaded end, all the good stuff. But it's so tight down that middle gap there, it just holds the barrel snug. So, you know, when you build a sniper, that kind of thing, you put all your barrel, you know, kind of stabilizers in, and it holds it, and it doesn't go anywhere, and this is the same, doesn't go anywhere. So we're completely snug all the way down. So my inner barrel is perfectly held all the time, so it's just dunk, 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 dunk. No movement in there, so my shots are nice and consistent. So that's about it. I'm going to say that's kind of where I probably go to make a good skirmishable Hi Capa. So, barrel, inner barrel booking, probably top of the list, nice and cheap. Short strokes, probably near the top of the list, nice and cheap. You don't need to swap your spring out, really, if you're using it outdoors in the UK. What other parts were there? Blowback housing. Absolute must. You'll probably pay about £35 for a decent aluminium lightweight blowback housing. It will transform your gun. Swapping your inner barrel out or putting a short stroke on will not transform the gun. It will make the gun work marginally better. You know, a bit better if you tell yourself that it's there. Blowback housing completely changes it. Completely changes it. It just becomes fast. It becomes amazing to handle. And then, like I say, a few quality of life upgrades as well. Mag catch and that plunger there to stop you from hitting that. That is literally all I've done with mine. Everything else is cosmetic. And this is my go-to skirmish pistol. I used it just this weekend gone, and I probably got as many kills with this thing as what I did my DMR. So, yeah, 2 for each. Not really, no. I'm amazing. I got 200. Nah. So yeah, there we go. Thank you very much. If you've stuck with me this far, hopefully I can help you build a really nice skirmishable Hi Capa. It doesn't have to always, you know, your Hi Capa doesn't always have to be the £1,300 monster. You can build something exceptionally well performing. You can leave it alone and it'll perform well, but you can build something exceptionally well performing for not a lot of money if you put your money into the right parts. And it's certainly doable. So, thank you very much. Please do hit that like button. Please do drop me a comment. I love talking to you guys and kind of swapping stories and so on and so forth. An absolute gold standard. Please do hit that sub button. Help me on my YouTubing journey. And, you know, come back. I've got lots of footage coming through. I've got a few things on the horizon. Something really cool in the post at the moment, and yeah, hopefully keep that content flowing for you well into the new year. Thank you very much, and I will catch you in the next one.